Hi, Desi.
Hi, Tracy.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Huh?
I'm fabulous. How are you? Anyway, the point of the story was it's not a cookie cutter.
Very nice.
It's like
Yeah, there's a new there.
well, I've never had divinity before. It's not that great.
Eric's out here looking. Eric's out there. I don't know if he... Have you been over there, Desi?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anybody else there?
Yes, ma'am.
Confidential. I know.
Do you want to know your town?
I know, I might.
That's on Tuesday.
What? Okay.
Is it at the same place?
How we doing, Polly? What's going to happen there tonight?
I don't know.
Oh. Hi.
They got a college career. What did the first game start in? A bowl game? That Brown?
You didn't even say hi to me.
I'm sorry.
Hi.
It's still at that church in the center of town. Upstairs?
We did
Guest of honor?
Yeah, I've been to it.
before you left.
Oh.
I used to go to it every now and then. Tony Ray, did you know him? And then there was Judy.
You're one of those folks where
She was around there. I don't know who all was there.
All was good today.
And
They're in
my
center
son
town.
got engaged.
Oh, I think I put it about
Yeah, it's real reasonable. Yeah, I've ate there. Only thing is, there ain't a whole lot of room in there. Oh, okay.
They're all grown up and getting
Yeah, it's been a while since I even ate in there.
I just wondered if they were.
I'll tell you this about that pizza.
January.
else up there.
We went up to Van Wert here not too long ago.
Yeah,
No
she's been
different.
working at
No, is that a school on, I can't even tell you how to get there. Very good. What's that on? Well, they used to at that church, but they ain't got that church no more.
It's out on at Grandma's.
They moved it because of COVID. Yeah, I do. That's where you've been up there in a while. We thought it was still that church. Well, we found it. We didn't just walk right to it. We went by it about 4 times. Yeah. You know, George Schott used to go over there a lot.
your money goes
Yeah, I do. Me and him went up to Canada this morning. Good time. Yeah, he can do anything. Yeah, he was.
Getting under my skin.
George White. Yeah, but it's that, it's online. Streaming. My son-in-law, or my grandson set it up for me. That 95, Garrett. That's Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett, up there's your MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was right before Christmas.
Miles Garrett.
I asked Miranda, I said, do you want to have a...
No, she's gonna call it.
I know.
You're gonna call it?
She's gonna next week after the meeting.
Okay.
Not doing a waiting, like,
So,
one day next week.
you're gonna, you got over 1,000 of the till.
I don't know. That bill, we had $270, so I did a check out for myself for $270. They didn't send us it. I thought they sent us some aluminum month tokens. They didn't send none. I'm gonna have to call them up.
I know.
They need to do, did you get this meeting in a orange one? How many of those did you get?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I love it. I love it when they get these. Well, they win one game and they're winning the Super Bowl. Everybody puts them up on a pedestal. You're tired of that? But
I'm Garrett, an alcoholic. I'd like to welcome everyone here to the Friday night group of Alcoholics Anonymous. Those who wish, welcome to meeting with serenity prayer. God, grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the depth is. Last time to read how it works.
Tom Alcoholic.
Tom.
How it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who is thoroughly following our path. Those who do not recover people cannot or will not completely get themselves in a simple program. It's usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates and not a fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which family responsibility. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity beyond it. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we're like now. If you decide you want what we have and are willing to think to get it, then you're ready to take some steps. And some of these we bought. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. Because the earnestness at our command, we beg you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to old ideas, and the result was nil if you let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, and powerful. Without help is too much for us, but there is one who has all power, and one is God. May you find him now. Half measures availeth nothing. We stood the turning point. We asked for protection, care, we need abandonment. Here are the steps we took where suggested the program was good. 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, and our life had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted God to ourselves and to another human being the exact nature of our own. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, may direct the men to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God, as we understood Him, praying only for the knowledge of His will for us, and the power to carry that out. It says, well, having had a spiritual awakening and resolved these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Many of us exclaim, what an order, I can't go through this. Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to the principles. We're not saints. The point is that we want to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter to the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A, that we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could relieve our alcoholism. And C, that God could and would do us.
Hey, Tom, can I ask a friend to read the traditions?
Hello, my name is Mike and I'm an alcoholic.
Mike.
12 traditions of Alcoholics Anonymous. Number 1, our common welfare should come first. Personal recovery depends upon AA unity. 2, for our group purpose there is but one ultimate authority. A loving God as He may express Himself in our group conscience. Our leaders are but trusted servants, they do not govern. 3, the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. 4, each group should be autonomous, except in matters affecting other groups or AA as a whole. 5, each group has but one primary purpose, to carry its message to the alcoholic who still suffers. 6, an AA group ought never endorse, finance, or lend the AA name to any related facility or outside enterprise, lest problems of money, property, and prestige divert us from our primary purpose. 7, every AA group ought to be fully self-supporting, declining outside contributions. 8, Alcoholics Anonymous should remain forever non-professional, but our service centers may employ special workers. 9, AA as such ought never be organized, but we may create service boards or committees directly responsible to those who they serve. 10, Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Hence, the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. 11, our public relations policy is based on attraction rather than promotion. We need to always maintain personal anonymity at the level of press, radio, and film. And 12, anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions, ever reminding us to place principles before personalities.
Thanks, Mike.
I'll ask my parent Billy to read the promises.
I'm Billy.
Billy.
The spiritual life is not a theory. We have to live it. Unless one's family expresses a desire to live upon spiritual principles, we think we ought not to argue them. We should not talk incessantly to them about spiritual matters. They will change in time. Our behavior will convince them more than our words. We must remember that 10 or 20 years of drunkenness would make us a skeptic out of anyone. There may be some wrongs we can never fully right. We don't worry about them. If we can honestly say to ourselves that we would right them if we could. Some people cannot be seen. We send them an honest letter. It may be a valid response or valid reason for the postponement in some cases. So we don't delay if should be sensible, tactful, considerate, and humble without being servile or scraping. As God's people, we stand on our feet. We don't crawl before anyone. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we'll be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know new freedom and new happiness. We will not regret the path on which shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace no matter how far down the scale we have gone. We will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness, self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking God is doing for us, but we cannot do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises?
No.
They are being fulfilled in moments, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly, where they were always materialized in your form.
Hey, Billy, I'll ask a friend to read the reflections.
Hannah Allen,
Alan out.
the joy of living, therefore the joy of good living is the theme of AA's 12 steps. 12 steps and 12 traditions, page 125. AA is a joyful program, even so I occasionally balk at taking the necessary steps to move ahead and find myself resisting the very actions that could bring about joy I want. I would not resist if those actions did not touch some vulnerable area of my life, an area that needs hope and fulfillment. Repeated exposure to joyfulness has a way of softening the hard outer edges of my ego. Therein lies the power of joyfulness to help all members of AA.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's Cody read the 24-hour book.
December 29th, or Cody Alcoholic.
Hey, Cody.
December 29th, AA thought for the day. Participating in the privileges of the movement, I shall share in the responsibilities, taking it upon myself to carry my fair share of the load. Not grudgingly, but joyfully. I am deeply grateful for the privileges I enjoy because of my membership in this great movement. They put an obligation upon me which I will not shirk. I will gladly carry my fair share of the burdens because of the joy of doing them. They will no longer be burdens but opportunities. While I accept every opportunity gladly, meditation for the day. Work and prayer are the two forces which are gradually making a better world. We must work for the betterment of ourselves and other people. Faith without works is dead, but all work with people should be based on prayer. If we say a little prayer before we speak or try to help, it will make us more effective. Prayer is the force behind the work. Prayer is based on faith that God is working with us and through us. We can believe that nothing is impossible in human relationships if we depend on the help of God. Prayer for the day. I pray that my life may be balanced between prayer and work. I pray that I may not work without prayer or pray without work.
Hey, Cody. We're in Coldwater. We have the token system. I've asked my friend Jim to give out tokens.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jim. I'm an alcoholic. Here in Coldwater, we have the token system. We start out with the beginner's token. Is there anyone here for their first meeting or the first meeting since their last drink? And we have one in months, from 1 to 6 months, 7 to 11, 1 year, 18 months, any year thereafter. We all got together.
Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution. It does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics achieve sobriety. All right, as far as announcements, next week we'll have a group conscience after the meeting. So anybody that needs a home group or anybody that considers this their own group, you're welcome to attend. It'll probably last about 15-20 minutes, maybe. All right, 24th celebration of recovery at the 224 Miami Valley Winter Conference, Saturday, March 2nd. It's at the Irish Club in Dayton, Ohio. There's information here on that. Also, we have a thing here that you can get on the internet. This logo that follows the activities in AA and Al-Anon groups. Also, the 49th Annual Area Northeast Ohio General Service Mini Conference is March 22nd, 24th. There's information here on that. Also, this New Year's Eve we have a regular AA meeting in Fort Recovery. Starts at 7. We'll have a dual lead, an AA lead and an Al-Anon lead, man and wife. And after that, they'll have some type of celebration, celebrating the New Year. So anybody that wants to do something on New Year's Eve, it's a good place to go. Any other announcements? All right. And also, we have the list up here for anybody that's still interested in the Dr. Bob's trip down to Akron, Ohio, sometime in April. So we'll discuss that at our next district meeting, which is in February. All right, that's it. All right, the person I've asked tonight, I seen her at the new Bremen meeting today, and I kind of caught her off surprise, but that's the way it works. You know, she said yes, and that's the way you do an AA. When they ask you to do something in AA, you do it. So without further ado, I'm going to give you our GSR for the Coldwater Group, Miranda.
Miranda Alcoholic.
Hey, Miranda.
Yeah, I tried to pass it off to Mitch in the parking lot, so.
It didn't work, did it?
It did, but then I was like, I felt kind of bad. I was like, yeah, Gary probably wants me to do this. It doesn't get easier for me, so I don't like speaking in front of people. But Miranda Alcoholic, and my sobriety date is April 16th, 2019. There's a lot of stuff from my past. Like, I guess, you know, the longer I've been sober, the more, like, I don't forget it, but the more it becomes distant, because I live a whole nother life today than I used to. So I'll kind of start from the beginning. I was born and raised in Rockford. My parents divorced whenever I was in 2nd grade. That kind of affected me because I think I was more clinging on to my dad more a little bit, I guess. And after that, we kind of, like, he drank pretty heavily too. And so sometimes we would go over there, sometimes, like, we wouldn't, or sometimes he would show up, sometimes he wouldn't. And so growing up, I lived with my mom, and she had a boyfriend that was really, really controlling, and I think that's when, like, my mental health and, like, my self-image issues first started. Like, he wouldn't let us do anything. Like, I wasn't allowed to join any, like, extracurricular activities, have a phone. Like, he marked off, like, the property lines on our house. People weren't allowed to cross it. I wasn't allowed to have any friends over. He was just really, really different. And so, I mean, there's more to the story with that, but that's just a lot where, you know, the way I felt about myself. Like, it's like I could never do anything right. And, like, still today, I still feel that way sometimes. That's a problem that I deal with just because of how long I went through that. But they did, there was one person that I was allowed to hang out with, and he kind of, like, helped me through that whole situation, and we became kind of close just with that being the only person I was allowed to see. He lived right down the road, and we spent, like, a lot of time together and stuff. And I just say that because it's gonna be brought back up later. But she finally did not be with him anymore, and you know, that was in, like, middle school, so, like, that's whenever I was developing, like, my feelings and all that stuff or whatever. But whenever I got into high school, I feel like, you know, I've always been, like, I was a pretty good student. I got mostly A's and B's. I did, like, extra activities. I cheered in high school. I was in the band, like, and I was pretty, like, sociable person, like, I guess I was always trying to fit, I still kind of felt like I was always just trying to fit in somewhere, like, I get along with people that, like, not a lot of people wanted to talk to, I would talk to them, and I also was, with the people that everybody liked to hang out with, so I was kind of, like, in the middle there. So, junior year, I went to a vocational school, and I went for health technology, so I was able to get my STNA when I was a junior, and I really, really liked that. STNA is like state tested nurse aid, so I was like real involved with like the medical field and working at nursing homes and helping people, like that's what I really like to do. In high school, the summer, I think it was right at the start of high school, that friend that I had, whenever my mom was with that boyfriend, now we weren't like close at this time, but, he passed away, and it just hit me a different way. I don't know if it's because, like, I don't want to blame what I did on that, but that's kind of what happened when I first tried the drug that eventually, like, had a grip on me for a really long time. After he died, I was just, like, at the wrong place, wrong time. My family members did it, so I, tried heroin for the first time whenever I was a senior, so, like, 17, 18, I can't really remember what age I was. But before that, like, I didn't even like drinking, like my dad, the alcohol, like, I just stayed away from it. I had boyfriends that drank, and I wanted nothing to do with it. And back then, I really, really did not know. I thought it was just, like alcohol, like people just do it every once in a while, or I didn't know enough about addiction back then to know, like, if I tried it that one time, that I would literally struggle with it for as long as I did. Like, I just really thought it was something that people just, did, I don't know. So, that happened, and that started the battle with my addiction. So that was the first thing I ever tried. Later on, alcohol became a very big part of my life. As the years went on, what would happen, I would get clean from one substance, then substitute alcohol. And when I first came into AA, it was crazy because my very first sponsor, I was like 18 or 19 when I first came in here. I told her that, I only told her about, like, the drugs, and then the more we talked, like, I was telling her about, like, what all I've done under the influence of alcohol. Like, I dropped out of college because I was drinking so much and all this stuff. She's like, are you sure that you, like, don't have a problem with alcohol, too? Like, and it was crazy because I never thought of that. Like, that was my epiphany, like, oh, I do. Like, I don't drink normally. And, so I got pregnant right out of high school. So it was crazy because I was thinking about this person a while back ago, jumping back to when I was in high school. That's when I really, really started, like, going downhill. Like, I went from straight A student, whatever, A's, B's, 4.0 GPA, to barely even passing. I spent most of my senior year in the guidance counselor's office. This guy, like, he was like a godsend. With all these problems, like, he was the only person that, like, knew that I was using. Like, I didn't, like, at this time, my family didn't even know. He was the first person I told, and I was in there all the time, and we were just talking, and, he's the one that first helped me tell my mom. I remember leaving school and going to tell her that I even had a problem. And it's crazy because I was thinking about him the other day. Even after like school, I still went and seen him like when I was doing good, like just to check in because he was such a big part of my life back then. So right after high school, I went to my first rehab, and I went in California, and that is when I found out that I was pregnant when I was in rehab. So, I did all that, and I never really stayed at any rehabs longer than 2 weeks. That's my mark, 2 weeks and I'm out. So I've been to about like, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 7 different rehabs in this last, 10 years of it. So, halfway houses. I did 6 months in Mercer County Jail. That's the only jail time I had. But I guess like the alcohol really, whenever I was sober from the drugs, like I'll talk a little bit about the alcohol addiction too. There was things that I did that like, going out with friends and stuff, like, and I just had this, just realized this, like, they would go out on the weekends and then return to their normal life, like, after the weekend. When I went out with them, like, that was, like, my everyday life. Like, to see that difference of a person that, can drink normally and just go out and have fun, and to know, like, how I drink, I always try to remember that, because I remembered it, thinking of it when we were in that moment. Like, I remember where, like, what bar we were at, and when I had that thought, like, yeah, they're just gonna go to work tomorrow and be okay. I wasn't ever okay. Like, I drove with my daughter in my car while I was drinking, not even remembering how I got home, missed jobs because of drinking, quit jobs because of drinking, like I said, dropped out of college. Like, it was just as bad for me, like, talking like, wake up, drink, pass out, wake up again, drink, cycle, over and over, just vicious cycle. So, all the times I tried, like, I've had, like, little bouts of sobriety. I was not able to, with my first kid, stay sober during my pregnancy, so, that just, I bring that up to show, like, how big of a hold, like, addiction really does have on people. Like, you would really think that somebody wouldn't do that to their kid, but, like, addiction had such a huge grip on me that I was unable to stop. That's something, like, grief that I carried around for a long time that, I can't do that. I can't hold on to it anymore. So, yeah, I was in and out of the program for a while. Before all the other times I've been in, it was mainly just because I knew I shouldn't be doing that, or I shouldn't be drinking like this. So I would just go and, either like people around me wanted me to go, or, like, I'm sure a part of me wanted to be there, but I just wasn't ready. Like, I believe that I got here when I got here. In 2018, I went to a halfway house in Shelby County, and that is where I met the person I'm with now, who we just got married, and we had 2 kids together. Our ride has been pretty crazy too. We've used together, we've been sober together, he's been using while I've been sober. He was sober while I was using. Just a long ride with him. We had two kids together, or we have 2 kids together, and that was when I got pregnant. Like these 2 youngest kids have never seen me not sober. Like I've been sober ever since then. I think what the difference is between getting sober this time and when all my other tries, I was I was no longer doing it for other people. Like I came to a point where, I was homeless. Like we were in Toledo, we were staying in a homeless shelter. This was before the kids. Staying in the homeless shelter. I just came from a place where I was absolutely like broken. Like my soul, like everything inside me was broken, and it's just something like a gift of desperation. Like I was so desperate to do anything to get sober. And I know now like that was my higher power, because even after that time that I was done, like ever since that day, like I remember thinking that I haven't touched a drug or a drink. But I didn't come back to the program right away. And so yeah, like I am real big on knowing a dry drunk, because I was that for, I think it was like 2 years that I did that before I came back, because I had one kid and then got pregnant a month after having that kid, and then had another baby. So it wasn't until after the second one where, I struggled from postpartum really, really bad. And that kind of pushed me to the meetings, but also Derek had relapsed. And, I think that kind of like, and we kind of talked about it, like that was kind of like some good that came out of it, because it got me back to AA, because I think, I was so scared that like, that could happen to me, like just that quick. And so I came back to AA, and Derek went to prison. And so another like blessing in disguise, like I was able to fully work on myself without being codependent on somebody else. Like it was really hard because I had 2 young kids to raise by myself when I wasn't even used to being a mom. Like I have a 10-year-old too. And like that was my first go at being a mom, and I had to do it by myself. But I really, really leaned on the people in AA, and that was the blessing that came out of it. So I came in and I got a sponsor, and I actually like worked the steps. Like before, I had worked them, but like not fully. So I came in and I worked the steps, and I was actually involved in AA and not just here. And I haven't stopped ever since that time when I stepped into the rooms. I haven't let up. I go to my meetings that I go to weekly. I'm pretty consistent about that. Derek, he ended up getting out, and things have been pretty good. Like, he's in the program. We're in the program together. Him going in there, it was really hard, but it actually, and we've been talking about this lately, it actually was a blessing, because I was so codependent on a man to carry me through everything. And I finally had the confidence that I can do it, and if me and him weren't together, I know that I would be okay. And that's something I never could say before. Being in the program this time around, I got a home group. I worked with the sponsor, very close with my sponsor, and that's something like I'm also very grateful for, because she's not just like a sponsor, she's a friend and somebody I like to hang out with, somebody I can call, like if anything, like here lately, like we've both been like pretty crazy with holidays. She's had a hard thing that she's been dealing with that happened to her, and so things have been a little bit strayed here recently, but anything happened, I would call her. Like it's to me, it's very important to have that person that you connect to, get a sponsor, just because like guidance in life. Like when I came in here, when Derek went to prison, I came in not knowing how to live at all, like how to be responsible. And what I know today is what everybody in this room taught me. They taught me how to live, because I didn't know anything about living. I listened to the people in these rooms. This is the place I'd rather be than anywhere else, like on a Friday night. Like, if I could go to a meeting every single day, I would. It's very, very hard when you have 2 3-year-olds. It really is, and they're brats. So, like, I don't want to take them to meetings. Like, I avoid taking them anywhere. Like, I don't even take them to Walmart. Like, no. I hate taking them places. So, but if I could go every day, I would. Because this is where I like to be. This is where I find my answer to living. This is where I find all the answers. Having a home group, I also stress for people that don't have one to get one, because it just makes you feel like you're part of something. Like, I just know that anybody in this room, like, I could call and, they would be there for me. And what other place can you have that? Like, it's just, the program has literally, not changed my life, but it is my life. Like, this is what I love. I became the GSR for this group, and that has also helped, with my involvement. It's my first time in service, so I don't know if I'm doing that great a job, Brad. But I try. Yeah, so I don't know. Life is completely different. Life is really good. What time is it? Oh God, I'm sorry. It's only 8. I'm trying to think what else I can say. So I'll talk about the steps a little bit. I struggled a little bit with the higher power thing. When I first came in, it just like, I don't know, it with using, you get so far away from that, like, it was just really, really hard for me to grasp a higher power. I don't know why it was, but the more like you stay in the program and you see people around you that have changed their lives, and when I look back and see some of the stuff I've been through and that I've lived through and where I am today, like, I know that isn't by my doings. Like, there's something greater than myself that's got me through the stuff that I was. And especially looking back on, like how I told you guys, I was in and out of the program and stuff and tried to do it on my own. Like, when I literally tried to do it on my own, I couldn't. And this last time, when I got in, like, when I had stopped, like, I really did feel that change. Like, I knew that was my last, like, I was done. Like, that, what's the word, Jim?
What's it?
Immoral, what's that word again?
Incomprehensible.
Yeah, that. That, I really, really felt that. And, like, sometimes, like, I can question the higher power thing, because I overthink things a lot, and like even to this day, like I can still question it, and I try to just remember all that stuff, like, you know, look at like the people that came after me, Paul, you know, like, you know, I seen you come in, I seen your change, you know, I see the people that came after me and remember when they came in and what they're like now, or try to remember what I was like and where I'm at now. And I know that, you know, I did not do this by myself, because I couldn't do it by myself. So yeah, that step, like, most people, you know, say the fourth and fifth, like, but that one was hard for me. That one was the hardest. My fourth and fifth step, I had done one recently, or not recently, but when I got sober, like, years and years ago, with a different sponsor than I have today, I did one. So, you know, I don't think that one went, like, even though I went out and relapsed, I don't think that one went completely to waste, because I was able to get a lot of the stuff that I held on to out. And, you know, that just shows me that I did do a pretty good 4-step, because whenever I went to do my 4-step this time, like, I was like overthinking again. I was like, I feel like I'm doing it wrong, because like I'm like pulling out. She's like, you don't have to pull up stuff, like, just whatever's right on your mind right now. Like, you know, some of the stuff I put on there, like, I don't even think about anymore, but I just put it on there because I know that it used to bother me. So, like, you know, that kind of helped me too, like, realize that, you know, when I did the steps the first time, it did kind of relieve some of that stuff. What really helped about the fourth and fifth, and how me and my sponsor did it, like, I wrote out the fourth, and then like the column that what was my part that I played in it, she helped me, like, look at that. So, like, I didn't do that part, we did it together. And it's crazy to, like, see that pattern of you know, the part that you played in it, because there was definitely a pattern throughout all the resentments I have, that I can go back and say, like, yeah, I do this, and, you know, that's why I hold these resentments. Character defects, it really helped me, you know, after we just started doing that, you know, and I've been reading a book, Drop the Rock. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but I've been reading that book, and what I've found out the most about, like, character defects and doing that one with my sponsor, it's made me become more aware. Like, I'm not saying, like, that they're all the way gone, but when I do stuff now that I know it's a character defect coming out, like, I'm able to recognize it now, because I brought awareness to it. So I do try to work on them, and I try to recognize it if a character defect is there. But yeah, that's a really good book if anybody wants to read it. It's called Drop the Rock. It's about character defects. But I'm getting ready to do my amends. I just called my sponsor on the way here. Like I said, she had something very tragic happen in her life, so, like, we haven't been able to get together very much, but, you know, the phone is still there, you know, so we do talk, and life has been crazy. Holidays, all this stuff, it's no excuses, but it is what it is. And you know, I'm gonna get ready to start doing my amends, and that's where I'm at on the steps. There's like the reading that there was today, and the daily reflections, I thought was a very, very good reading, and it really related to me today, because something I put on my 4-step, a resentment that I have still, it's popping back up, and it's affecting like my everyday living right now. So, I called my sponsor, and this reading, I think it kind of ties back into what I'm going through right now. How it says, find myself resisting the very actions that could bring about the joy I want. So I think that, the joy, sometimes like joy to us is like very foreign, or at least to me it is, or was. Not so much anymore, but like I lived a miserable life for so long that, any kind of joy was really weird to me at first. Like sometimes I would like sabotage myself to like make drama or chaos into my life. I still do that sometimes. I would I would not resist if those actions did not touch some vulnerable area of my life, an area that needs hope and fulfillment. So that, that's what I'm going through right now. Like, the resentment I have is something that, it is like vulnerable part, and that's the part that needs like the joy the most, and I'm like completely not putting any joy into it at all. So I don't know, I needed that reading today. I needed to call my sponsor and talk. The importance, I will stress this all the time, the importance of having a sponsor, because she knows that I'm going through this, and she's like, we need to meet. We need to sit down, we need to write it out, we need to get to where the problem is, Having somebody like that can guide and navigate you through life, it's literally made all the difference this time. Yeah, so today, life is pretty good. It's not perfect. Like I said, I'm still dealing with some stuff. But it's so much better than what it was and what it ever has been. This is the longest I've kept a job. And I've been here, I've been at my job 2.5 years, and I'm 29. That's the longest, that says something. This is the longest job I've ever had consecutively. My attendance isn't perfect, but I still have my job. I got married 3 months ago. We've been together for 6 years. I have a relationship with my 10-year-old. I still don't have custody back of her, but we have a relationship, and that's something that's super important to me. I may get her back someday, I may not. It's just on her time, and I'm alright with just having a relationship with her right now. It used to bother me, but yeah, I have a relationship with her, and that's good enough for me in this moment. My two kids, my younger two, have never, like I said, never seen me drink or drug or anything. I'm happy to be able to be the best parent I can be, and that's from the program. Like, I practice these principles at home too, and with my kids. This is something that I think can help, like, me be a parent to my kids. Like, this is something that's really important to me that I'll instill in them, even, not even being just as a person, like the program teaches you how to be a good person, and that's something that, I pass on to my kids. So yeah, meetings, I go to meetings, and this is just my life, and everybody in this room I consider a friend, and I go to the functions that we have in AA. Any kind of AA that I can do, I do. So, and that's where you find happiness. And that's all I got.
Well, that was a good lead. It really was. Like you say, you see new people come in after you, and you see them grow, and that's what I've seen you grow. You know what I'm saying? We all have a story. We all get her 2 different ways, but it's just amazing the effort that you put into the program is what you're gonna get out of it. You know, and that's why we tell people to get a home group, to be a part of, you know what I'm saying? That's what you did. You know, yeah, life takes on a different meaning if you stay sober. As customary, we'll just open it up for anybody that wants to make a comment.
Tom Alcoholic.
Tom.
I remember when you came in about that time, and you were here trying to chair a meeting, I think, and you were setting up, I was here early for some reason, and, I was just amazed that you had that much, you're gonna put that much effort into it, and it just made my day, and this is beautiful, thank you.
Well, Miranda, I remember when I started, at first I started with Al-Anon. Well, actually, my first meeting was AA, wasn't it, Gary? Because I went to the wrong meeting. So he's like, I think you need that one down the hall. So I started going to Al-Anon. Then when I got with Kevin, I started coming to AA with him, and I loved the promises. Because I thought at that point in life, if my daughter could ever see any of those promises, it would be great. And she has. I'm very proud of her. That's it.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks.
Steve, alcoholic.
Steve.
That was a powerful lead. I'm glad to hear that. Heard your lead, I think, once before, but this one, what I liked about it, you covered, to me, you covered the whole gamut of what you went through, how your life started out. You know, you had your problems, and then you got to a point, then how you struggled through the addictions, and then you found your husband now, Derek, and but what got me, the one part that got me was, it was kind of like you had to, you know, like when you said you were sober, he was under the influence, and then when he was sober, you were under the influence. You were playing, you were bouncing back and forth, and nothing was getting accomplished, and you had basically just got to the point where it's like, when, you know, when he had to go do his time, I think that was probably when you had to wake up, smell the coffee, and realize, look, I can't do this, I need help, I have to, if I want to, I've got 2 kids, or whatever, and my life I have to get my life under control. It's got to get better than what it was. And what I've seen, you've done a pretty damn good job of that. Congratulations, and good to hear you leading tonight. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
I'm Jim, I'm an alcoholic.
Jim.
Miranda, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was great. I just really enjoyed that. You know, these are bumpy roads we take getting in here, isn't it? Jeez. And you certainly paid your dues and had, so you're gonna have 5 years, right?
Yes.
This spring. Oh, that's amazing. I love what you said, that, I agree with you, that in the process of finding your own faith, you saw it in other people in the rooms, that we see somebody else, we're incapable of maybe seeing the miracle that's going on with us until we look across the table and we see it happen in somebody else's life. Yeah, that's awesome. Because that's the power that happens in this group. Your story is a powerful story, and it's helping a lot of people. So I'm just really glad and happy for you. Thanks.
Thanks, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Steve,
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve.
I tell you, he was a little nervous, but you really should be proud. You did a great lead. And then he said, well, I'm about done. And then it got even better. So, I just think that it was a good lead. And the more you don't need to be nervous about it. You just polish it up every time you do it. It was great. And I appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Mike, alcoholic.
Mike.
Miranda, I've seen you through your struggles, been in here for 24 hours, but I kept going, where's she at? I wanted to this so bad for you. So far I got it today. But you know what, powerful lead, awesome. But it shows the struggles we go through. We fight this. And a lot of people go, how do you do it? One day at a time. But I got to remember what you said up there and everybody else says. We gotta work this. If we want this, this is number one. And I'm glad that I finally heard that out of your mouth. It's like, this is number one. My family was pissed at me first when I started here. I said, this is number one, you're number two. Oh, we gotta be number one. I said, you want me sober, you want me drunk? Simple question. But the struggles we go through, and we just heard your struggles, and it was great that we heard that. I love it. Thank you.
My name's Dwayne, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Dwayne.
Miranda, just kinda like what Mike said, seen you come and go and wondered where the heck you're at, and things like that. And I'm just glad you finally realized you don't have to do this by yourself. You can't do it by yourself. None of us can. No matter how many years we have, we only got one day, 24 hours, and we can throw it away in 2 seconds, picking up a drink or a drug. And you did a hell of a job. I hate getting in front of people as well, but you did an awesome job. You just continue doing what you're doing. Thanks for being my friend.
Thanks, Dwayne.
Marvin, I'm not quite.
Marvin.
And, Android lead, I got quite a lot. I like to, what Jim said, that meant a lot to me, cause I could see the growth in others before I could see it in myself. And also where, you took the 4 step, I think, and then you take it again, but yeah, I firmly believe that what you gained in the first time, it stayed with you. You don't actually lose that, you still have that growth, and you still move beyond it. And then, when you said that we sometimes sabotage some good things that look like it's gonna happen, I think a lot of us do that because even though we're not in a good spot, we're used to being there, so we're comfortable. So then when you go from there to a better spot, it just gets uncomfortable. And it's scary because it's new. But then when we get there, through the help of our sponsor, as you pointed out, and the rest of the program, we benefit and then we grow. So, thank you.
Hey, Marvin.
I'm Mitch, I'm an alcoholic.
Hey, Mitch.
Just coming here and hearing your lead, I'm super happy. You teach me a lot, Miranda, and I've come to you for advice before. Tracy, when you said that you're proud of her, that really hit hard with me, because I remember the first time I went to a meeting with you, you were talking about Miranda, and wasn't familiar with you or Miranda at the time, but I just remember you saying you were so proud of her, and that's, like, I know the first time I ever heard my dad say he was proud of me was here at the Coldwater meeting. I didn't even give a lead, it was just shared, but at the end of the meeting, he said something about he's proud of you, he almost started tearing up, and your mom said that about just teared up too, just like, that's something you don't want to lose. I relapsed 6 months ago, and I didn't even tell my dad till recently, because I didn't want to lose that. I thought that was one thing I wanted to keep going, so, I mean, I don't think you want to lose that either. That's awesome. I'm happy for both of you guys.
Thanks.
Real alcoholic.
Hello.
First time I heard you, Miranda, and I really enjoyed it, like Jim said, that was really, really good. If you listen to what you're saying, if anybody out here don't know how to stay sober, you told us how to do it. I agree with one thing, big time. AA taught me how to live, because I didn't know how to live. I didn't know how to treat people. I wanted everything my way. I was full of anger, and it was hard to put the drink down. And so I guess that's your mother. And then Kevin, you got a good role model right there. Kevin's good AA, and that's great. That's great. But I got a lot out of it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Lou.
Brad Alcoholic.
Miranda.
That was a great lead, Miranda. I mean, geez, I could relate to everything you said and talked about, and I love the way you laid it out, you know, and the way you talked about how when you bounced in and out, and then once you reached that, whatever Jim says, your bottom is what I call it. That was your turning point, you know, that's when you had enough, and you've stayed since then, and so I love watching you grow in the program and how active you are. You're not around AA, you're in AA. You go to as many meetings as you can go to, and you're in service and you're active with that. It's great to have you around, and you did a fantastic job. And you're doing a fantastic job with GSR. Don't ever think you're not. I mean, yeah, just amazing. Thank you, Miranda.
Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Brad.
Anybody else? Well, I could really relate when everything's going so darn good. I throw a monkey wrench in it. When everything's going so good, I throw a monkey wrench in it. It's going too good, see? So I'll screw it up, you know. And but we work through it. And I found out a drink or drug ain't gonna make any problem any better. You know, we have the solution here. You know, everybody's in this room's a miracle. I don't care how much sobriety you got. If you're sober today and you're in this room, you're a miracle. Because a lot of people don't make these rooms, you know. Thank you, Miranda, for being my friend, for a good lead. All right, we want to close the meeting with our Father.
Who keeps us sober?
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Keep coming back. Work.
Miranda, remember the program I tried to get you to? She kept leaving rehab, so I'm like, I have a rehab for you right here. Well, you know how that worked out.
Hey, how you doing?
I tried. My face lit up like a thing.
That's all you can do is try. You get court slips. Hey, Mitch, court slip. Hey, thank you, Don.
This black girl will take it.
Good to see you, Don. I gotta do here.